Alright guys, well here we are again because of asshats on YouTube making how-to videos that they have no business making. So we got another one, and I'm gonna call these people out. His channel's DaBince, D-A-B-I-N-C-E or C-H-E, I think. It's this Daffy Duck sounding idiot motherfucker that's just like the other one, making videos when he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about or what the fuck he's doing. So today we're going to show you how to remove the front wheel on the CRF300L properly. So this is my setup. You can you're free to the first thing he does wrong is he jacks the bike up first. That's incorrect. So with the bike on the ground, and however you want to do it, this is how I do mine. I've got a couple 1-inch pipes that go into this access point in the frame here for bolts. Looks like bolts that probably hold the motor in to the frame. Yep. So yeah, I got a couple 1-inch pipes, and I just use a floor jack, a board, and some jack stands. Got a jack stand on both sides. So I just have it resting nice and even right now. The key is to have it on the ground, so you can have it on the kickstand. That's fine. I suggest a board under it because the fucking kickstands are too short on this bike. But yeah, and then another good thing to do is if you have them, you don't have to do this, but I like to do this. Yeah, is just stabilize the steering arm, stabilize the front wheel and everything, forks from spinning on you. So I just put a couple bungees around here, and it just keeps this nice and stable, pretty firm. So you're not smacking yourself around like stupid ass DaBince is when he jacks his bike up. So yeah, first things first, and we're going to give you the correct fastener sizes, unlike idiot DaBince. So 10 millimeter. As far as I know, this does not matter. Is no different from the Rally to the L. I have the L. You know, if I quote you wrong on something because you have the Rally and there's a little difference, I don't think there is, but don't blame me. I'm going to say this video is for the L. So 10 mil, oh, yeah, we go. Look, I can read my tools. You see that, DaBince? I can read my tools. Oh wait, what's this one? What does that say? 14 millimeter. 14 millimeter, not a socket, or not a 14 millimeter Allen head socket for the actual axle nut. 10 millimeter for these pinch nuts, or I don't know what you'd call them. I hate that when a tool doesn't fit super firm. But they are 10 millimeter. Let's see if my socket's better. Nope. Okay. So go ahead and loosen these first. Oh, look, you see how my wheel didn't smack me in the face? Take note, DaBince. I know your skills are super honed. But maybe, just maybe, you could learn something from little old me. Huh? You think? Probably one of them hard-headed motherfuckers that can't learn nothing from nobody. You just got to go through life learning the hard way. Alright, so I have not had this wheel off yet, but I know how to change a front wheel. So I don't know if these are like a set screw type of deal for this axle nut, or how it works. So I'm just going to back them all the way loose. Okay, and then I'm going to crack that bolt with a what? with a what? What is it? 14. Not 12, Da Vinci, 14. All right. So now, because my wheel is on the ground, it shouldn't spin, although I haven't lowered it that much. So we'll see. It'd be better totally flat on the ground. Just kind of put my knee on it there. And there, that's all you need to do is just crack it loose, okay? Just crack it loose. So we got those loose, and we got this cracked loose. Now we can go ahead and jack up the bike. Fun side fact, if your jack is a piece of shit like mine, and it bleeds off, if you do this kind of setup, you're probably going to have to counterweight the back end. Okay, but yeah, bike jacked up, front wheel off of the ground now. So we can go ahead and remove that axle. What was it? Ooh, 14 millimeter, Da Vinci. Oh, should I smack myself in the face with my tire? No? Okay. I don't want to be as skilled as you. I wouldn't want to make you look bad. Ooh, this takes a while. Still going. More threads the better, right? Okay, now the smart thing to do with this piece of shit focus, Jesus H. Christ, is put a little bit of pressure on that tire and that wheel. There, that just got substantially easier. Okay, so I can tell now that it's all the way backed out, because the weight of the wheel, you know, is going to put pressure on that axle. So you go ahead and bump it up just to relieve the pressure, and out she comes. Okay, and there is no grease. No grease on mine from the factory. That's nice. That's really nice. Thanks, Honda. So, we'll set that aside. Okay, and now what you're going to have is you got these little spacers, dust shields here. And you got them on both sides. So when you take this out, those might want to try to fall out on you. As you can see, this one's already flippity-floppity. So, just go ahead and kind of, they usually kind of will stay on their own as long as you don't bump them, because they usually have grease on them. But I don't know, Honda might not have put any on mine. So now what you're going to do is you're just going to pull this wheel out forward, and because of your rotor there in the caliper, so you got to pull it straight out. Now when you put this back in, you're going to want to be careful not to bump your pads, because you can just kind of shift them, and it'll just make it more difficult for you to put this back in. But I'll show you that. So front wheel forward. There's a little bit of pressure because of the brake. There we go. Right forward and out she comes. Yay. Now, I don't know, these look identical. But I would suggest don't mix them up, because you never know. So if you want to put a little paint dot on one as the left or the right, so you know, that's all you need to do. We'll check this out and see if I got grease in my wheel. There is a smidge of grease there. Let's turn this fucking light off because it's a pain in the ass. Well, that's a hell of a lot fucking better. Yeah, there's a little bit of grease in mine. So we'll put a little bit more when we put that back in. So check that out. You know, put a little grease in there. I've got some marine grease. I don't know if that's the proper application, but that's what I'll use. So we'll go ahead and slide her back in. And now I'll show you what I'm talking about. you do whatever you need to do, change a tire or change a rotor or whatever, you know. And then, so there's your pads. You got to get your rotor back between those. Try not to bump them. It's not a big deal if you do. You can reposition them very easily with your hands, but I'd rather not. So, back in, roller forward. Now this will be a trick to do with the camera rolling. Let's bump her into there. Yep, it's sliding in. It's sliding in. That's what she said. Okay. Yep. Oh, I knocked my spacer. There we go. Okay. She's in. And now, I'll save you all the hoopla. You just go in reverse. Go ahead and put your axle back through. Just line it up, put it through nice and careful. Make sure your spacers are not whopper jawed, you know, so you have a tough time. And just run her back through all the way, and then seat her. And we're going to go ahead and do something else that Da Vinci doesn't do. I know he's an expert, but I'm going to give you the torque spec. Shh. Here we go. Got a nice little film of grease on my axle. Go ahead and do the same. And don't get any on the threads, obviously. Alright, so a little bit of finagling. Use your ramp here to kind of go back and forth, and you just wiggle this through, and I've got her seated to the other side. So we'll go ahead and drive her home now. Now, pop that off, and we switch to a torque wrench. Da Vinci doesn't know what one of these is, but that's okay, I'll show you. It's set at, can we get a focus? Yes, we can. 51 foot-pounds. 51 foot-pounds. I'm not an expert like Da Vinci, so I got to use proper tools and proper settings. So, go ahead and we pop her in there, and bingo, 51 foot-pounds. Then, and we run these guys down. Okay, I guess I didn't need to go to the socket wrench. Just snug it, snug it. Through the magic of movies, we immediately have a torque wrench ready. And it is set at 16 foot-pounds for the axle holder nuts. Okay. Well, it's not easy to do with the camera in hand. I like to kind of go back and forth before I hit the full torque value. This is super goofy with holding the camera, but it's all for you people. Can't have morons telling you how to do stuff. It's just not right. We're almost there. I don't know why that cut off, but okay. There we go. Alright, you heard the wrench, and that's a done deal. That's how you remove the front wheel from a CRF300L correctly. And here's your torque specs for reference.